Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It is a beautiful, it's not, it's windy as fuck, Tuesday, and we're back once again with something that can actually take off, as well as everything out there that is just flying crazy. Tonight, we're going to be working on these Aeronautica Imperialis planes, the Ork faction. And most of what we're going to be doing this evening is painting windows. There are 2 of these gigantic planes. Then we've got 4 of the medium-sized ones to do, and 6 of the baby ones to do. So there's going to be a lot of painting glass, basically. But if we can get all of that done tonight, happy days. It means a Thursday stream, we can do a lot of the things like the freehand red that we've got going on there. Got a load of Japanese plane, World War II inspired symbols to go on. So, loads of fun. In the chat, we got Sarah, a Crooked Grin, and Viking. How are you guys all doing? Sarah, eagerly looking forward to my latest Rival Crash delivery. I imagine the postman was in no mood to deliver it today because of the horrendous gale force weather that we've had here. But tomorrow I'm feeling good. How is everybody though? What have you all been up to? Who's been getting their hobby on? Anyone been playing any games? I've been playing some games. Everywhere. I think everywhere has got this. This almost feels kind of usual for where I am. We get a lot of like very heavy winds here because we're very unprotected from the elements. There's a lot of flat fields, and so the wind just can really pick up along that, right? Spent a little part of this evening just getting the bases done on the first half of the Necronathon. I have a tray of stuff right here. This is one half of the Necronathon. We've got the Murder Giraffes, the Scorpec dudes, all the characters, the Scarabs, some Immortals, the Murder Buckets, all that is in that box. In that box is 60 warriors. All to be done this weekend with prize giveaways by the amazing Sarah Rival Crafts, by the phenomenal people over there at the Alliance Open. And let us not forget, because it is the end of the month stream, exclamation point win, exclamation point mystery. Those 2 commands going to tell you all you need to know about this month's giveaways. In addition to all of the other things that we're giving away because of those 2 amazing sponsors. Try living on the Florida coast. Dude, I couldn't. It's too humid for me. None of that. Balanced Lost Arms, I mean, you can try. But when it comes to the basing kits, it will be, you win 1, you're done. Got to keep it fair. And thank you very much, man. I'm going to be talking about that tonight, so if you guys want to know how I got on at the weekend, some people have already seen the results. Some people may have heard about the results on last night's Hellstorm stream. We're going to go through how we managed to place 3rd this weekend's event. Wooden Spoon Wargaming getting his sub on. 9 amazing months. Dude. I'll drink to that. That is absolutely right. Oh, hello. We got Rocky gifting a sub to Sarah. Which means, Sarah, you are once again going to be eligible for this month's giveaway. I'll give you your meeps. Damn, Sarah, you need to be here to spend those as well. Like, seriously. Got a big balance. Pearl Jam getting his sub on as well. Wait, no, that's Rocky gifting another sub. Rocky, what are you doing, man? Pearl Jam. There you go, brother. That's you squared away. Crownblade, what up, mate? When your local guys from the yeah, they went down. Wow. Pro Jam, for that one, you can suck at it. Right, we're going to paint a load of windows. Now, all of this top section has been painted blue because all of these bits are going to be painted gold. And you get washed back down. And I didn't want to put that over a white base coat because, let's be honest, gold does not work well over white. You need a darker color underneath to really give it that power that it needs. Also, I know for a fact that because these windows are all effing tiny, it's going to take us quite a lot of messing around to not get any paint on those. So we may as well just take it and go with it. Fair enough, man. Look, I really appreciate it. Let's get some hype for Rocky. Absolute legend, as always. So we've got some scale Canterbury blue. I'm going to thin that down. That was our base coat as well. Then we're going to work in some Signar blue highlight from P3. We can darken this blue down a little bit. And this is going to be our first highlight. We're going to paint these in a very similar way to the way that we paint gemstones. So, keep that nice and thin. Des, how you doing, buddy? So, like we do with a gemstone, we have elements of this that are going to be dark and elements of this that are going to be light. All right. And in the same sort of fashion, we're going to create a lighter section down towards this corner, a darker section up in this corner, and that's going to give us that kind of comic book-esque window. I heard you got number one for drinking. That's the main prize. The person that won was sober. I'm not entirely certain what you're trying to allude to there, mate. Rocky, peace out, brother. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by, man. Sons of Rolo coming in with a raid as well. Matey. How's it going, champ? How's your stream, man? Can we get some hype? Get some follows? Let's give this guy the warm welcome he deserves for bringing his community over here. Yeah, Des, we've had a little bit of like power issue. We haven't had anything go out, but the lights have flickered once or twice, so if we suddenly disappear, it's just that. I think everyone's having some sort of issue due to this. It is what it is. Like, I've had the issue of having to collect my bin about 1,000 times. God forbid you open the front door. I mean, the back door is always open. I like to have some breeze, some fresh air, and so on. And so as a result, as soon as you open the front door, the through draft will practically push you down the corridor. Pro Jam, no, not really. I went out for a curry with some friends on the Saturday night. It was really nice to actually see people and go and engage in social discourse over a meal with these people. That was amazing. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that. But I had to drive then from the restaurant back to my Airbnb, so I couldn't really drink then. And then the day after, I was driving back from Mansfield, and we set off at fucking 8 o'clock in the evening. It was it was unnecessary, but it was either leave at exactly 7 o'clock after not having had lunch, not through any fault of the venue, but through essentially the fault of the Indian that I'd had the night before, just making me feel a little uncomfortably bloated. As I was starving, and the thought of driving home without having any food was too much. So I stopped, had another little bite to eat. Unfortunately, it was KFC, and I don't really do fast food and stuff like that. But that was the only thing that was around and it was open that I could get a meal at. Sammy P, 98. Thank you very much for that follow. Did some more work on more infiltrators. Nice, man. Nice. How are they getting on? So the event itself was really good. I took knights because I love my knights, despite the fact that they're not very good, and despite my last tournament outing. Although possibly in spite of my last tournament outing, I wanted to make sure that there was still some play. And I wanted to find out if my last, unfortunately quite feeble efforts at a tournament and my first ever negative record at an event was because nights were bad, or I was out of practice, or I just got unlucky, or whatever. So we were going to take the nights again. There was no painted prize. You know, you could turn up with an army that was painted if you want, but no prize for doing well at painting. So we had other armies we could have taken. But anyway. Rocked up with the Knights. My list, as usual, is the Housecrast Knights because I genuinely prefer their playstyle. Their Warlord trait for reroll once first night, I believe, is an absolute must-take. Do not leave home without that. It is always going to be a Mechanicus household because the act at full strength for 1 CP is extremely strong. If you haven't got that, then I genuinely don't think that your knight's going to be in a position to compete at all. At all. Yes, this stream was really good. I enjoyed just listening to blokes passionate about playing it even though I never played. Oh, nice, dude. Everyone got 10 points for painted because you had to bring an army that was painted, but there was no prize for best painted. So I could have taken something like the Nurgle Demons that we did in just a very quick fashion to get them tabletop ready. I feel they're a little bit more than just basic tabletop ready because the amount of effort that was put into things like their bases and their swords and other bits and pieces. But everyone was going to always get those 10 points for painted because Mikey wouldn't allow an unpainted army at his event. Which is fair. Like, totally fair. So, the list was 3 Crusaders. As always, got to have those. If you haven't got 3 Crusaders, you're just not going to do well. No worries, man. I'll see you in a bit. You need the firepower. Like, more than any other thing, you have to be able to trade every single turn, and you need your knights to be as ruthlessly efficient as you can possibly make them. Simply because if you're not active in every possible phase that you can be, so obviously no psychic phase, don't need that though, then you're just not going to do enough. Because you can't really just rely on board control, you have no obsec, and a few other things that make your life a bit more difficult. You have to be punishing. Yo, what up, dude? Farcias, how you doing, man? Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. I hope he's alright, though, and I hope you are, too. I appreciate more than some, like, need to paint and everything, but let's just keep you safe, yeah? So, 3 Crusaders. all armed with a thermal cannon because I genuinely think the battle cannon's a bit cack. It's just me. And I know everyone's going to say, but it's got blast. Right, these windows are going to do slightly differently because they're broken. At least I think that's what they were trying to sculpt here. So we're sort of painting the edges of these, and they'll be nice and bright with a darker surround to it. Like that's my guess, is that that's what they were going for. It's really hard to sculpt something like that on a mini this small, but let's assume that that was their plan. And again, we just continue bashing through all of these windows. So 3 Crusaders. My Warlord has the Armor of Sainted Iron, which is a 2-up armor save, which I feel is an auto include. The relic, sorry, that's the relic. The Warlord trait for him, I've started taking Cold Eradication, which is from the new Psychic Awakening Engine Warbook. Cold Eradication is really, really good because any time you roll a number of shots for a weapon, Spartias, that's good to hear, man. You roll 1 extra dice and you discard the lowest. So that's alright. That essentially gives you 3 rerolls on a Crusader. 1 for your thermal cannon, 1 for your missile pod on top, and 1 for your heavy flamer. And that would be really, really super good on a Castellan. And that would actually make the Castellan worth playing if it wasn't for one unfortunate aspect of it, which is that as it's a Warlord trait and we're loyalists, we can either have Cold Eradication on a Castellan or we can have Iron Bulwark. And for 3 CP to give that guy a 4-up, it's too expensive. So that's a no. Can't have him yet. Still need other things to make him okay. Second Crusader. This is my Dakar Crusader. He takes First Night, another auto include. Has to be taken. You're going to roll a lot of 1s when you're firing 20 odd shots a turn. You just will. You're looking, if you max out all his shots, you got 12 plus another 12, that's 24 plus another 6, that's 30 plus some stubber shots. You know, you're looking at above 30 shots if you get hot on dice, which means you're guaranteed to roll on average dice 5 6s and 5 1s. So you want to be re-rolling those 1s. And it gives you a little bit of that reliability that a lot of other armies take for granted. You know, let's take obviously the Bogey in a Room, Space Marines, they get reliable shots. Custodes get reliable shots. You know, you've got all of that inbuilt re-rollable stuff in their army, but we don't have that. But we do have a Warlord trait for it, so you kind of got to take it. And that guy, depending on the event, and depending on what's really in the meta at the moment, it's one of 2 things. Although recently I've been favouring one much more than the other. Commissar Bob, what up, dude? So he either gets the Headsman's Mark, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's the House Crashed Relic, and it gives you +1 damage against monster or vehicle keyword units that have a wounds characteristic of 10 or more. So that's quite a lot of stuff. You're looking at most of the dreadnoughts that Space Marines have now. It's only the venerable ones, little box naughts, that won't take that damage. I think drop pods have only got 8 wounds as well. But other than that, pretty much everything in the Marine Codex is going to be eligible if it's a vehicle. The only monster in the Marine Codex isn't eligible because he's only got 9 wounds. So you've got, against a Marine heavy meta, a really, really good choice of taking that. It is +2 versus Titanic as well. And that does come up. And it's brilliant when someone takes a few wounds from a Avenger Gatling cannon. Like they fail 3 saves and you go, alright, cool, that's 12 damage. And they go, Ooh, that's always fun to do, but it's not that many people rocking knights. It's pretty much me and like 1 or 2 other people right now. That's it. Chaos Knights are still relatively popular, especially in like some of the soup lists with the Bash Brothers. Although I imagine now in 9th it's going to be even less of those. But it's still possible to do. You can still run it. Brass Scorpions and all that lot in there as well. And the other relic that we would sometimes choose above this is Endless Fury. And the reason I've been taking Endless Fury above Headsman's Mark almost all the time is because Headsman's Mark is useful in some games, and in those games it's devastatingly useful, and then it's completely worthless in others. Like it has no play. If you end up playing a Ork list, for instance, it's not going to matter at all. It's not going to come into play. If you play a Space Wolf list, which frequently is a load of dudes on foot, it's not going to matter. Blood Angels, a lot of the same. They'll have like the Libby Dread, and then they'll have a load of guys, usually with jump packs. It's like a Sanguinary Guard, obviously. So there's lots of armies that are still very strong that you really are going to want that against. And so I've just started taking Endless Fury, and now you've got to declare your relics on your army list pre-event. What you need to do is you need to look down the list of people going to the event, look for some names you recognize. If anyone has given away information as to what army they're taking by selecting their like faction, then you can take that information as well and work out whether you need or want Headsman's Mark. But that Gatling gun, that Endless Fury is crazy. Like really crazy. Not to mention the fact that if you have any kind of desire to Overwatch, that's the one you would Overwatch with. Morkin, if you're just posting links, that's not a problem. I mean, ask first if possible. And it's always possible. But if this is for stuff to look at, then !Discord, go and join our Discord server and put your picks up in a work in progress gallery, and we'll look at them towards the end of the stream. It's alright, dude. Not a problem. If you didn't know, you didn't know. Can't know what you don't know. So that's two of the Crusaders. The last one, we always take the most defensive set of relics on that we can. And Warlord traits, we take Iron Bulwark, we take Sanctuary. And that way this guy's got a 5-up invulnerable save, which you can boost to a 4-up in combat with Rotate Iron Shields. And that's caught out many a player. And Iron Bulwark means that I've always got somebody with that 4-up invuln save that I can put in harm's way, that I know I don't need to worry about spending CP on. Frequently, he's been the MVP of the game because people have just not focused him. They've shot other knights, making me spend CP, and then that means at the end of the game, when they've got a lot less stuff, I've just got a knight with a 4-up invuln just waltzing around, chilling out, smacking people in the head. Having Sanctuary means that against a lot of very deadly combat armies, Blood Angels spring to mind, and they'll come up in a minute, you've got a chance. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to lose 2 knights turn 1 to one dude, because that will happen if you're not careful. Small Soldier 12, how you doing? So, to round the army out, we take 2 units of Helverins. One that's unit of 2 and one that's just 1 on its own. And that way it happily fits completely within one super heavy detachment. Don't have to pay any CP taxes for any additional stuff. It's just all there, all done, winning. So we like that. That's good. Solid list. I think for you guys out there that want to play knights and you want to play pure knights, that is currently, in my eyes, the best list that you could run. You could play Raven, and Order of Companions obviously is semi-decent, if expensive. You could play the same list with Tyrannus, and it was suggested to me that I should play the list the way I built it with Tyrannus. And you get that 6-up Feel No Pain for that even more durability. And that's good. It's a solid way to build it, but the problem with that is, it's the reason why I play Krast. Cellvirus! Thank you for that sub, man. Welcome. Good evening to you. The problem with running Tyrannus over Krast is, especially with Gunboat Knights, you become so horrifically one-dimensional. Especially if you've been wounded in sort of late in the game. Because you are just not going to hit at all. And in your opponent's turn, when they've struck you and you haven't used act at full strength at the start of their turn preemptively, because there's only been like 1 or 2 occasions that I've ever seen a need to do that. It's paid off when you do. Rogue Trader, what's that, 14 God Mode. Thank you for that follow and welcome. That's a quality username. So, by playing Krast, you have the household benefit of having reroll hits in the first round of combat. And that's failed hits, not like Chapter Master hits, but it's still good. It's still real good. Because 24? Oh, 2 X's. Yeah. Thank you. Warren Cap, cheers for that follow. Yeah. Because you get those reroll hits, it means that your Gunboat Knights become as useful in combat as almost every other household's Gallon. It's not quite. There's like a tiny amount that the Gallon edges you out by. But you've got everything else going for you. You've got all the guns you could ever possibly need on these bad boys. They're going to do the work for you. So, it's solid. Is it going to win you tournaments? The answer to that is almost certainly no. Not right now. Yeah, I have Crownblade. And I used to use Assassins. I used to take a Vanguard of 3 Assassins. Usually 2 Calexis and a Vindicare. And the only reason I don't do it now is because the ITC's pure system changed in early 8th. Well, it wasn't in early 8th, it was early last year actually, I suppose. To everything in your army must be from this codex, or you don't count as being in pick whatever army you want it to be thing. So, because of that, I got used to playing just Knights. Now I know they've changed that a little bit now, and you can take some things and it doesn't break your single faction status. But my list fits really, really well. Orkrist, how you doing, brother? Let's get some love in the channel for this absolute boss mode Canuck. It might be morning for you. It's got to be probably afternoon just about for you though, right? So, yeah, I like playing the Knights pure. Greyfax is actually a really, really good choice. She's got 2 denies and she gets +1 to deny at all times. So that's really good, and I've considered adding her in. As far as assassins go, I don't want to pay the 2 CP at the start. Really not fussed on that. And they're 100 points, which is nearly a Helverin. And just not necessarily as good as a Helverin either. And the only other issue is that Knights are a very tricky list to build and maximize your potential, because you have the least granular points cost in the game. So here's a Knight Crusader, for instance. That's 490 or 95 in my list. It could be one of those two. But it's a lot of points. And you could definitely take that. And by the time you put 3 of those in your list, then you're at 1475. Yeah, I had to just double check that. Oh man, that sounds horrible. I anyone that does stuff like that, hats off to you. I've been doing a little bit of graphic design recently, for some promotional stuff for the stream, and the thought of doing that as a paint guide is just a no. That would take me way too long. Ugh. Well, hey, to be honest with you, man, that's like a page every 12 minutes, so that's really good going. So you should be buzzing over that part of it at least. But anyway, that's enough about my list. Should we hear about some of my opponents and what they were taking? Tony Montana, how you doing, man? We're literally just about to talk about that. We've just gone through the list. So if you missed that, then obviously exclamation point YouTube, you can check it out there. You can watch the VOD back. Or you can use Best Coast Pairings to have a quick look. It's a great tool. Almost every tournament player uses it. More people should support it because of how much we use it. You can see everyone's list on there. Suicide Pretty, what up? So game 1, Sunday morning, play against a guy called Marcus Hinson. Now some of you may know that name. You might be thinking, why do I know that name? It's because Marcus plays for Team England. And not only does Marcus play for Team England, at last year's World Team Championships, which England won, he was the guy that was playing Imperial Knights. So, game 1, I'm not just going up against any, like, decent tournament player. I'm going up against a world champion who knows my army probably as well as I do, if not better. So we've got world champion Knights player versus world champion Knights player. I ruled the ITC, he ruled the ETC. This was going to be a fun game. Now, Marcus was not bringing his Knights. And let's all have a boo and a hiss at that, shall we? Marcus, knowing that Knights are pretty pants at the moment, Marcus brought a pretty scary force of Imperial Fists and Blood Angels. Now, mixed Space Marines are a thing, guys, alright? Don't get it twisted. You don't get your Super Doctrine. So for Imperial Fist, they're not getting that extra damage against vehicles and buildings whilst in a Devastator Doctrine. But they only get that for one turn now anyway, so it's not a humongous loss. And with the kind of artillery that he had, it wasn't the end of the world either. So, not a loss for him in the slightest bit. Right, all of the first section of windows done. I'm going to make a mix of our second highlight now by adding some Lothern blue to our Signar blue base. So Marcus's list, let's see if I can remember this, because it was pretty janky. Imperial Fist Spearhead, which didn't include his Warlord. It included a Warlord, but it wasn't like the Warlord. He had a Phobos Captain, so the one from the Shadow Spear set, who had the Hand of Dawn as a Warlord trait. So you spend a CP using whatever hero of the chapter or something I think it's called to give somebody a Warlord trait. That Warlord trait then refunds you D3 command points. So you're guaranteed to get it for no cost but no benefit, or on average dice 1 command point, or better than average dice 2 command points just given to you. I really don't like those interactions. Main unit, how you doing, man? We're painting some planes, we're painting a load of windows. We go back to our big boys now. I'm just going to rearrange our desks so we're ready to rock and roll. So yeah, mixed Space Marines definitely a thing. Blood Angels lose their 1 extra attack in the Assault Doctrine. But to be honest, they've got enough attacks anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You're not really losing a lot with that. Right, with this, we're just going to paint inside again that highlight we've just laid down. So we're still going for that kind of bottom left light, top right, sorry, bottom right light, top left dark look. So let's see, his Imperial Fist side of things was the Phobos Captain. It was 2 units of 3 Eliminators, not Eradicators, Eliminators. A Whirlwind with the Vengeance Launcher, so that's a Strength 7, 2d3 shots, 1, damage 2. So really nice at taking out things like Primaris. Good chip damage against vehicles as well, you know, not to be like forgotten about. Gotta keep that one in mind. And 2 Thunderfire Cannons, which I think everyone has fully fed up with now. But it is what it is. Then he had one other thing. He had 3 regular old school Space Marine bikes, with the Sergeant having a combi bolter. Well, Storm Bolter, but you guys know what I mean. So that was the Imperial Fist side of things. The Blood Angel side of things was where it got really... So, we've got the Smash Captain, because why would you have a Blood Angels list without at least 1 Smash Captain? Didn't have a Storm Shield, because there's no point. You honestly don't need a Storm Shield. He's there to die after killing something, and then fight on death and probably murder something else as well. So increasing his invulnerable save is kind of a moot point. There's just no real need to. He had a Librarian Dreadnought because it's better than Mephiston in almost every single way. He had Astarath the Grim because he is horrendous. Astarath has an ability called the Mass of Doom, where everything within 6 inches of him you roll a dice for. On a roll of a 1, it takes a mortal wound. Tin Drommel, thank you for that follow and welcome. On a 2 to 5, you get +1 to hit, and on a 6, you get +1 to hit and +1 attack, I think, for that turn. So it's a nice buff to give your units, such as, for instance, it's a very nice buff to give your Smash Captains about to go nads deep into something. Mick, you did. We talked about it for a good long while, so I don't want to go back over it, but you can watch the VOD. You can obviously find it on BCP as well. But it was 3 Crusaders, 3 Helverins, all crassed. All the usual relics you'd expect to see. So Endless Fury with First Knight, Sanctuary with Iron Bulwark, and Armour of Sainted Iron with Cold Eradication. So very straightforward list. So Blood Angels list that Marcus had, it was all of those things, all those HQs, pretty nasty. A unit of the stealthy boys that can have the medic, but he didn't have the medic. Don't know which one that was. No, I haven't seen the new Batman trailer. I try and actively avoid movie trailers because I'm always worried that they're going to give away too much of the film. I want to be able to really enjoy the film and be surprised by it. So yeah, he had 1 unit of the Stealthy Boys, the new Phobos guys. He had 1 unit of Eradicators, the Melter Gun dudes, which we were obviously extremely scared of, that he wisely put into strategic reserves. There was 2 units of Scouts, because what's a Blood Angels list without some Scouts? And then a unit of Blood Angels Outriders, which on the charge are horrendous, let's be honest. It's either Infiltrators or Incursors. It's one of them. The one that can have the medic, they just didn't have the medic. So, strong list. The terrain at the event, as we alluded to yesterday on the Hellstorm stream, sometimes that terrain was completely ineffectual. This was one of those games where it was going to be. As a Knight player, I rely on line of sight blocking terrain to be able to hide all my stuff, and if there's none of that, then it's an open playing field for me, but it isn't for my opponent, which I am going to have to learn to live with. I don't really like it, but what can I do about it? I just hope that more people have lost blocking terrain as part of their terrain setup and see how we get on. So because of that, I ended up having to set up 2 of my big knights on the front line to screen for my other one. So the 2 at the front were always going to be the guy with Sanctuary, because he can rotate in combat and give me a 4-up invulnerable save against the inevitable Smash Captain coming my way. On top of that, we've also got things like some Death... Oh, that was it. It was a unit of Death Company. 10 Death Company, 2 hammers, 2 fists. Everyone else with bolter and chain sword. Bolter, not bolt pistol. It's worth thinking. Don't need that pistol. Bolt gun's better. So yeah, against that, it's obviously good to have that at the front. He's got a better chance of saving. We also had my Warlord there, who's got a 2-up armor save, so at least he gets a 5-up against the Thunder Hammer swings. We roll for first turn. And unfortunately, I do not go first. And at that point, I'm like, right, cool. Well, it was going to be a short game anyway, I'd imagine. This has just made it even shorter. So we'll just take that as is. Asterath rolled for the Massive Doom. And it failed on the Smash Captain. So at that point, I thought, all right, there's a chance. There's a chance my knight is okay. We might only lose 1. We might not even lose 1, but we might only lose 1, and that's what I was hoping for. For one model that's like 140-ish points to only kill nearly 500 points of Knight. That was my hope. Something wrong there, right? So, Asterath does some litanies. That happens. There's a little bit of movement, nothing crazy. Death Company are off the board. No need to even try getting those on the table, just because there was a lack of places to hide them. And there's only 10, so a couple of Ironstorm missile launchers will really start to put paid to those. Whittle out some of the better weapons in the unit quite easily. So all we had to worry about was that Smash Captain. Some bikes repositioned to go off and get some objectives. There was a lot of scouts running around trying to get in the way and start planting banners on objectives for Raise the Banners High secondary. And we'll talk about secondaries in a second, actually, because I got an interesting way of picking my secondaries in this game. But that was kind of it until the inevitable Smash Captain charge. So he pays 2 CP, Smash Captain charge is 3d6 inches. He's got the Angel's Wing, which means he's got no Overwatch going in his way. And I think he can reroll his charge as well. So it's going to happen. He's going to get to me. He gets in, he hits my Warlord, and all I need to do was pass 2 saves, I think, out of the 7 that I needed to take. And I didn't. I failed to. CP'd it. Still failed it. My Warlord dies. Didn't explode, which was fortunate, because that would have been me taking a load of mortal wounds. Then my other knight, who we'd also managed to get into, because I had to keep them bunched up a little bit at the front, also got hit after killing the captain because of the 2 CP fight on death stratagem that Marines have. Now, he actually took his saves. This is interesting. He took his saves on his armor save, not his invulnerable save. The reason behind that is that his save is worse. He wants him to die so that he can spend 2 CP to fight twice, not 3 CP to fight twice. Things that I've done back in the day when you could, it was I would just attack the Smash Captain with the end of my gun rather than with my Titanic feet, because that way he'd have to spend the extra CP. You can't do that anymore. So, here's what it is. Anyway, Captain strikes, hits my other knight, who I clearly rotate on, and only does 12 damage to my knight. So he's only done 36 wounds to toughness 8 models with, at worst, a 5-up save for 140 points and a couple of CP. You know, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. But it is what it is. No sense crying over it. Now, I said I was going to talk about my secondaries. He had Raise the Banners High, he had Titan Hunter, obviously, and he also went for the mission-specific objective, which was Raise. You could burn objectives that were in your opponent's deployment zone. Interesting one to go for. If you burn them both, you get like 12 points or something, I think. I took Kill More because I'm playing Knights. If I'm not killing more every turn, I've lost anyway, so it doesn't really matter about taking that one, and may as well just take it. I took Headhunter to kill his characters because he had like 7. By the time you factor in the Tech Marine Gunners and things like that, there's a lot of character keyword things on the table. And then I took a secondary, which I don't think he was expecting. But it was also the easiest one for me to score, and I'd rather take an easy 5 than an impossible 15. What I think he was expecting me to take was Recon. So have 1 unit in 3 table quarters to get 2 points, or all 4 to get 3 points. To do that, I'd have to spread my army out to such a great degree that I'd be able to be picked off very easily by the Blood Angels' forces. They're the thing I had to worry about, not the Imperial Fists. So I took a Boar the Witch, which was only worth 5 points because he only had the 1 Psyker, which was his Librarian Dreadnought. But I knew his Libby Dread would need to be in combat, and he's going to have to come to me to get the most out of it. And so I'm going to get that kill anyway. I need to kill him because I've got Character Slayer, Headhunter, whatever they call it now, Assassinate, I think it is now. So it's going to be points that I'm going to get. So I may as well have it. So his first turn was pretty devastating. Killed a knight, dropped a knight to half, and his Imperial Fist Artillery starts picking on my Helverin over in the corner. Right down over to that side of the board. And does 9 wounds to the damn thing. It was pretty gross. The Thunderfire Cannon and that Vengeance Launcher were doing work. And then he just had a load of bolt rifles going into it. Sorry, bolt guns going into it, which just did enough chip damage to really, really sting. So in my turn, my Crusader, who has Sanctuary and Bulwark, gains a wound back for being Admech, so he's no longer bottom profile. So I don't need to use my strat on that, which freed it up to use it on one of my Helverins. That's the first time I think I've ever used it on a Helverin. But it freed up a lot. It gave me a load of extra movement. It also allowed me to get some decent board position with him. So he'd get onto an objective. He could clear my opponent off of an objective because he had line of sight to him then. And it was just a really, really good move. What's up, Bob? Peace out, man. In the middle of the board, my big knight with the invulnerable saves moved up. My first knight Gatling, Endless Fury dude, kind of hung back a little bit to get some shots off on some of the bikes to limit his mobility. I thought I was going to be able to get some shots off at his Whirlwind, but unfortunately he was just out of cover, so he was behind terrain rather than in terrain. It was basically a building with a very big L-shaped footprint, and I thought he was in that, but he was just outside of it, which is the right thing to do. Dismayer, we're painting some Ork Planes, dude. Got some little Aeronautica Imperialis stuff going on as a commission. We're painting windows. I'll try and get these finished this week. And then next week, we've got whatever the stream mini is, either the mystery box, the Shadow Seer, or the amazing looking troll from Mollog's Mob from Warhammer Underworlds. And once those are done, we've got Magnus to paint. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. Really, really, really want to paint him. But we need to get these done first. This is the price of being able to do Magnus, is these. Hey! Welcome back, Andy. So we got a few kills in turn 1. We killed a load of scouts. We killed the red bikes, the Blood Angels, new Primaris Outrider bikes. And we got a couple of units down sort of here and there. Didn't do as much as I wanted to, but did a fair amount. But I'm thinking it doesn't matter now, because turn 2, his Libby Dreadnought's going to come forward, Astaroth is going to come forward, which is what happened. His Eradicator is going to come on, which also happened. And he can start picking up some of these objectives, which is also what happened. Now the Eliminator's come on, and knowing full well that he can murder my half-wound Crusader in combat with the Libby Dread and Astaroth, he completely ignores that and fires them at a Helverin. Assyrian, good luck with that. That sounds awesome, but good luck. Green stuff may not be necessarily the best thing for it. Try Milliput perhaps and water it down. You can thin that stuff pretty well without it losing any of its properties. It just takes longer to dry, obviously. So that might be an option for you. So he fires his Eradicators into my Helverin, who fucking boss mode saves everything. I rotate on him. Ding, 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 ding. No. He's like Neo in the fucking Matrix. That guy's having none of it. He charges the Libby Dread and Astaroth into my knight. We rotate just to try and keep him alive. Doesn't work. He dies to just the Libby Dread. Astaroth literally sat there doing nothing. Okay, cool. That's what it is. If that's the Magnus that's been making the rounds recently on Instagram and things like that, where he's unclothed, can you please delete that image? Because showing that on Twitch could give me a terms of service ban. So please remove that. I'm aware it's on Discord, and thank you very much for posting it there. However, when we do the stream models work in progress later on, we stream what's in Discord. So if it is there, and that's the particular one, please remove it. Yeah, Astaroth was like definitely that. He failed a load of his litanies, he failed his Massive Doom, he was just clearly feeling a little bit more of the red rage than he was letting on that day and couldn't really concentrate. So, in his second turn, I lost that night. My Helverin that was on low wounds died. My other Helverin I had down that side of the board took a lot of damage, but was otherwise okay. And my final Night Crusader was still left unhurt with the reroll ones to hit and that super Gatling cannon. And Marcus has blown through a lot of his command points. I've spent quite a few just trying to keep myself alive, having to reroll some saves and stuff. So we're both hurting for CP. We're losing a lot of that resource. And this is where shit got real. In my turn 2, I put a lot of damage into his Libby Dread. It had a perils earlier on, so it was down to only 6 wounds. My Helverin shot at it. Got loads of shots, like 10 shots. It's cool. Decent number of hits, good number of wounds. We're liking it. It's working out for us. It's okay. And after I rolled my wounds, he went, "Oh shit, I meant to use the reduce damage by 1 strat." So at a tournament, this is exactly the time when you say to your opponent, "Sorry, pal." Especially when you're playing a world champion who should know his shit. However, in my head, I'm like, well, the writing's on the wall. He's going to win this game anyway. And that's the sort of thing that I would have done if he'd fired it at me. Fuck it. Why not? Tell you what, mate. It's late, and it is late, and we both know it's late, and we both know I can say no. But on a 4-up, you can have it. So I rolled dice. It was a 4. He spent his command point. And that took him down to 0 command points then. And in my head I thought, he didn't want to do that. That's really big. That's fucking gargantuanly, like, stupid big. Ooh. So, at that stage, he rolled his saves and unfortunately failed them all anyway. So his Libby Dread died. And then he and I both knew that when his Death Company came in from orbit, he couldn't use the 3d6 charge strat. When I was going to charge Astaroth and stamp on him with my Crusader, he wouldn't be able to use Fight on Death and do a significant amount of damage to my Knight. There was a lot of stuff that he wasn't going to be able to do right then. And I thought, okay, I'm relying on chance to help me out. But there's definitely a chance now. So, in a charge phase, we charge Astaroth and murder him. But we also charged my Helverin, my plucky little Helverin, at his Eradicators. Now, I had to make an 11-inch charge to do it, but the dice gods were with me, and we made that charge. which meant that the Eradicators were then tied up in combat. And they're not vehicles, they can't shoot in combat, they're not Ultramarines, they can't fall back and shoot. So all those super sexy melter guns, taken out of the game for a turn, at least. So that was pretty big. Right, I'm just going to mix in some more Lothern Blue into this mix. Ogre Kin, thank you for that sub, dude. Welcome to the stream. Now we've still got every chance for defeat to come and rear its ugly head. And by every chance, I mean a better than average chance to lose this game. But there is a chance that I don't. And that's a really fucking small chance. Because in turn 3, he has to bring his Death Company on. They stayed in the tactical doctrine. I even asked him at the start of the game, like, do you want to just auto move into the assault doctrine on turn 3? I'm glad you like them, dude. There's loads of work left to do on these before the windows are done, let alone the surrounding gold. But going to give you that nice little reflective glass tint going on in a bit as well. So he brings his Death Company in. He's still got that little unit of Imperial Fist bikes, which are a ball ache. They've been harassing that Helverin for ages, like all game. And he got a charge off the last turn. Didn't do anything in combat. I didn't do anything really in combat. We got a wound off in combat, which is actually, it turns out, super important. And when he shot all his artillery and stuff at my Helverin, I said, look, Marcus, we both know one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to boss every save and I'm just going to shoot your bikes to death anyway. Or I'm going to fail every save, explode, and kill your bikes. Well, I didn't make all my saves. But I did explode and kill all his bikes. The dice gods, somebody up there, is loving me at this point in the game. They're like, I tell you what, you plucky young knight player. Young is stretching it. We're going to give you a chance. We're going to let you have some more fun in this game. So that Helverin blowing up was stopping my opponent from scoring points in the primary at that stage. Because I was still holding a lot of objectives. Managing to keep board control. DK, what up, dude? But it also basically gave him absolutely no chance whatsoever to score any points for raids, which was his third secondary, the mission-specific one. So I'm thinking, all right, we've got a chance. Now we just need the Death Company to not kill my knight. So Death Company, declare a charge. I obviously spend a CP for Overwatch. Need to be overwatching these guys. If we kick it off with Endless Fury, every single hit becomes 2 hits. They're 2 damage, they're -2, they're great at killing Death Company. But I'd need to be very, very lucky. And we were relatively lucky. We killed 4 in Overwatch. That did leave 2 Thunderhammers, 2 Power Fists, and some extra Chainswords, which he wasn't going to need, let's be honest here. Those heavy weapon style melee weapons, it'll do the trick. So he rolls his charge on 2d6 because he can't use the 3d6 charge because he spent that command point out of turn. You know, if I hadn't let him spend that CP and said, look, sorry mate, you know, tough shit, you're too late, he wouldn't be in his position. And this is why you should be a good guy at the table. Yeah, put yourself in the guy's shoes every now and again. So he needs an 8 to get in because they get +1 to charge. And on 3d6, obviously that's pretty good. On 2d6, the odds are okay. But what's really gutting for somebody when they're in that position is to roll a 7. Because if they had 3d6, whatever the result was on that other dice, he'd have been in. Don't be a dick. Rule 1, man. That is rule 1 of life. Don't be a dick. So, use this CP to re-roll it. Fails to charge. And at that point, I'm thinking, alright, cool. I can win the game. I can do this. It's still going to be tough. It's still going to be rough. And there's still some very definite high-value targets on the table under his control that I need to eliminate. But there's a chance. In my turn, we moved my knight around a bit of terrain so I could just barely see that Death Company unit. And I poured every single iota of firepower into that unit. It didn't matter if I didn't kill something else that turn, because I knew I'd be able to get his Eradicators in combat. They were only a 4-inch charge away and I had a CP, so even on like under average dice, we were still more than likely to make that. So I put everything into those Death Company, wiped them out entirely. Made the charge into the... Oh wait, no, it wasn't into the... Hey! It's the guys from Art of War! These guys are amazing. John and Nick, how you guys doing? Let's get some hype in the stream for the guys from the Art of War. 14 Dead Souls, it's a war. It could be a war. We've got some Ork Planes on the go. We got our Aeronautica on today. Drew. Is that Drew? Drew. Yeah, Drew. Thank you for the follow. And Medievalim, I think. Maybe. How you doing? What's going on? What's going on is we are recounting this weekend's epic battles at the Hellstorm RTT we went to. And we're painting a load of windows on these tiny ass planes. How is your stream, guys? What did you get up to? Warhammer, Mohawk, and solid music. Absolutely. I'm talking about a game I played this weekend against Marcus Hinson, somebody who you may be familiar with, all of you competitive 40k players. He was playing Imperial Fists and Blood Angels versus my pure Imperial Knight Force. And we're down to the nitty gritty of the game where I might win. So, it's good. Painted some gargoyles. Dude. They are lovely models. They are a bit of a sod to transport anywhere. Even like from one part of the table to the other part. They're crazily unstable. God knows what GW were thinking with those. But glad you had a good stream, Matt. That's awesome. How's the podcast going? I haven't had a chance to listen for a little bit. I used to put it on while working, but work's been so busy right now. And I have to focus on what I'm doing. I've been unable. I do expect everyone to be following the Art of War, both here and on YouTube. Podcast's doing great. I'm not surprised, man. For me, that's the best 40k podcast. Because whilst there's loads out there that will talk to you about what's going on in the world of 40k, there aren't that many out there that let you get inside the mind of a player, which is exactly what yours allows you to do. And that is so valuable. Like, I want to win another major tournament just so I can try and get on your podcast. I don't care about the prizes, the glory, the trophy, or none. I just want to be on your podcast. It's gonna take me some time. And definitely a new Knight Codex, like, ugh. But I'm hoping for another one of those this year. Best of the ITC Knights. If we can get that, maybe I can get on. God. But please, G-Dubs, if you're watching, you had my Knights on your Warhammer community stream today. Give me a new Codex. That's payment. Yeah, one day indeed, man. One day. So, anyway, back to the game. We were talking about the game against Marcus. Marcus had an Imperial Fist and Blood Angels soup mix versus my Pure Knights. Marcus, one of the players on Team England. An amazing 40k player. And the guy that played Knights for them. So, knows his stuff. Knows his stuff. He just had some bad luck. He made a mistake. By using a stratagem that meant he was out of CP to use a stratagem he really needed to use. And that cost him a charge with his Death Company, which left one of my Knights alive. That Knight eliminated his Death Company. Charged his Company Champion, not the Eradicators, because he had that CP. Didn't need any chance of an Overwatch from that at all. That would just be like a game ender if he got a good Overwatch off with those. We charged his Company Champion and then piled into the Eradicators. So that's now 2 turns that they're not shooting, which is massive. Peace out, boys. Thanks for bringing that raid as well. Absolute bosses. Much love. So for the rest of the game, my one remaining Crusader, because the Helverin died pretty soon after, unfortunately, basically would charge something, get combat, kill that, after shooting and killing something else, pile into something else, tie it up, stop some guns from happening. And the final moments of the game, we had an objective outside of a very large L-shaped ruin. This has been in his control and had been raised the banners on for pretty much the entire game. I ended up with my Knight stood on that objective in combat with a Thunderfire cannon outside of the wall, which we've murdered. He then charged everything through the wall at me. Tried to charge his Thunderfire cannon through the wall as well. Tried to kill my Knight, it didn't work. We used the controlled aggression strat. We murdered both Tech Priests in one sitting. Oh, Maladeus, that's awesome, dude. Actually, I think my local's got a copy. If anybody wants a copy of Indomitus in the UK, let me know. Because I think my local still has a copy, which is their store copy. But I did tell them to put on eBay, and I don't think they bothered getting around to it yet. So if anyone UK-based wants one, hit me up after the stream, and I'll message you guys at Atlantic, see if they have. So anyway, we won game 1 versus an extremely competent player with a very scary list. Bit of a low-scoring game, though. It's only like 65-ish to 49. So it was ugly. It was a real rough game. No one was feeling the love after that. But we did then both go to the pub and he bought me a pint. So we were definitely feeling the love as 40k players. So, happy days. Decent game 1. Game 2, I'm hoping for... Well, the thing is, I got the lowest winning result out of everyone. I'm hoping for a nice, easy game. Oh, the Dismayer, Harlequins don't need to survive against Knights. The Knights need to survive against Harlequins. It's definitely the other way around. Harlequins will rape your big toy monster in 2 turns. They sit in Star Weavers and then they boost across the board. they fusion pistol you to death if they haven't already haywired you to death. That's all she wrote. There's nothing left in that book. That's literally all of the story. So game 2, playing against a brilliant guy called Paul, who is occasionally here in the chat. So Paul, if you're here, say hi. He said you've been watching the stream, picking up some airbrush tips. It's always nice to meet somebody that's a community member. But Paul's got Raven Guard successors, which, if you play knights, are actually really, really horrible against you. Because, for those of you who are unaware, Raven Guard's super doctrine is when they're in the tactical doctrine, which you're going to get 2 turns out of almost all the time, you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound against character models. I've got 3 big knights that are all characters. So suddenly even a bolt gun's winning you on a 5. It hurts. It does hurt. Let's see if I can remember what Paul's list was. He had 3 Redemptive Dreadnoughts with Gatling cannons all over. Storm bolters and frag grenade doodads. He had a Invicta Warsuit with a heavy flamer version. He had 2 units of each of the Incursor and Infiltrators. 2 units of Eradicators. They'd be wounding my knights on 3s. And 1 big fat unit of 6 Aggressors. So not a bad set of stuff. Like, really not a bad set of stuff. He had a couple of characters. He had the Phobos Captain and Lieutenant. And a unit of Outriders. I think that was everything. Yeah, pretty sure that was everything. So it's a decent list, and it's easy to see how he won his first game with that list. You know, you got plenty of different tools there to deal with almost anything. You know, you've got some anti-armor coming in there from your melter. You've got a load of power fists in combat. That hurts from those aggressors. You've also got anti-infantry from the aggressors, from the outriders, from all those dreads. They're good in combat against big things too, doing d6 damage a hit with that big old dread fist. So there's a lot of threat. And he's set up extremely aggressively. And I did too, but I hid my Halverins. My Halverins were all just sort of like backs to the wall, behind a few bits of terrain that was scattered around. As were his Eliminators. And his aggressors were in a bit of cover as well, the other side of the table, just to be sure that they would hopefully survive. Ooh, beef noodle soup. You can sign me up for some of that. I'd be down. Now, the dice gods had not finished smiling upon me, it seemed, because I was blessed with first turn, which was big. And my opponent, I'm sure Raven Guard have got a strat where you can redeploy some units. And he didn't do it. And I wasn't going to ask him if he wanted to, because that was on him at that point. But I'm thinking, alright, this is cool. And my first turn was nothing short of brutal. I eradicated all but one of the Eradicators. We ran up the middle of the board. We murdered his Invicta Dreadnought. Oh yeah! I need to see it, Sarah. Need that food porn. Gotta happen. We took out his Invicta. We took out one of his units with Infiltrators on one flank. Then charged another unit just so we could get table quarters for 3 points that turn. Sorry, no, 2 points that turn. I couldn't quite get the charge on another one. It would leave me too open to the aggressors. Andy Evans! Dude, 4 months worth of subs, 3-month streak. How you doing, fella? Thank you so much for that sub, dude. Always helpful. So we killed a lot in turn 1. We dropped the aggressors down from unit 6 to unit 3 with just Hellstorms. So we were really happy about that. Eztac Plays, thanks for that follow and welcome. So that was a good start. His retaliatory attacks were not ideal for him. He came forward with a lot of stuff, made some charges, and then in what is a very unwise thing to do, and combat is super important in 40k, alright? And he made his charges. He was like, right, cool. So I'm going to start with this over here. We just go left to right, alright? I'm like, if you're sure, and you looked down at the table and went, well, actually, I suppose you could interrupt and you could kill. Alright, sure, I'll attack with a Dreadnought. He had a Dreadnought and he had a unit of those 3 aggressors in combat with one of my knights. And if both of those get to strike against that knight, he's dead. The Dread, we should be okay, should just about survive it, but with the aggressors as well, we're toast. So he fights with a Dread, which is probably not what I would have done. I'd have fought with the aggressors because they're a softer target for me to kill. And it then forces me to kind of fight the Dreadnought to try and kill it, which was going to be unlikely with just 1 round of combat from what would by then almost certainly be a degraded knight. But he fought with the Dread, and I just got lucky and bossed my saves. That was it. Then I paid 2 CP, murdered his aggressors, and that was kind of the game. There was not a lot left that he could do to really affect me after my next turn, where we were just popping Dreadnoughts all over. We were all over the objectives, maxing the primary. By the end of the game, he had not killed a knight. I had 1 knight down to 2 wounds, and I was trying to help him kill the knight. You know, we were talking through different ways of doing his movement phase. We were looking at different things that he could have done with some strats to try and boost damage and things like that, just to try and get those 2 wounds off the knight. And in my own turns, I was trying not to kill his stuff, so he'd kill more every turn. Always going to be taking that as a secondary, needed to. By the end of the game, I finished with a 99-point win with the Knights. It was very one-sided, and Paul, to his credit, took it with a smile on his face, like an absolute champion. He was a pleasure to play, and we talked quite in depth about some things he could have done in the game to help sort of stop that from being the case again. A couple of very easy tactical changes he could have made. For starters, he should have put the infiltrators in outflank. Sorry, the eliminators in outflank. He probably should have put his aggressors in outflank. Let them all come in when a tactical doctrine's on. But those eradicators can pop in, be in range, and murder a knight. +1 wound. And hitting on 2s is scary. Real scary. So that was 2 games down and 2 wins, which I was happy with. I'm like, cool. Doesn't matter if I lose game 3 now. We've gone positive again. This was all I really needed to let me know that maybe it was just me playing like shit in my last event. We're okay. We can keep playing Knights. We're alright. And it's just as well I had that thought in my head, because game 3 I get drawn against Sisters of Battle. Does anyone know what Sisters of Battle do? Because most people don't. And I'm one of them to a degree. I know some of what they can do. I know some of their tricks, and I know some of how the army operates. What they do is they completely ignore AP2, because almost everyone takes that like chapter tactic, whatever they call it, order, I think. The other thing they're really good at, Miracle Dice, that's been put in the chat twice. I'm going to shoot you with a D6 damage weapon. Cool, I failed my save. Wham! There's 6 damage from my miraculous dice. I've seen that many times. I've had it happen to me before. We were well prepared for it. We knew it was going to happen. Playing a mission, it's the one where you've got the weird deployment. It's like the 2 small triangles. So imagine Vanguard Strike, but really short. I like it. But, and this was a problem, and we talked about this on the Hellstorm stream yesterday. If you guys aren't watching that, tune in on Monday nights, 6 PM, where me and Mikey will chat 40k. We might do some hobby. I usually do. He normally chats bollocks because he's Mikey and that's what he do. And it's a good fun stream. We were talking in depth yesterday about terrain and its effect on the game. And this was a game that terrain had very little effect on. At all, in fact. Because of the way the deployment zone was and the way the rest of the terrain was, we were basically playing lengthways, and I could not hide any knights. Now, Exorcists now need line of sight to shoot. I think they used to be able to shoot indirectly. Now they can't. That son's dog getting his sub on. Dude, your dog even gave me an emote. Absolute boss. Look at that. Thanks a lot, man. I swear you just don't want to ruin your streak on your main account, and that's why we've got the dog account as well. But much love, brother. So, because I couldn't hide my knights, I was feeling pretty confident I was going to lose at least one turn 1. And depending on what happened with the rest of his army, maybe 2. Now, his army, I'll try and remember it all, was 2 Exorcists, 2 units of 9 Repentia, a Missionary, and the Whip Lady, like the Super Repentia chick. Sister Superior, maybe? I think that could be right. What else? 2 Rhinos, 1 Immolator with a Dominion squad with Stormbolters, another Dominion squad with Stormbolters, 3 Battle Sister squads with Stormbolter and Heavy Bolter in each, Celestine and her 2 friends, 2 Magifiers, too many sprues, air high 5, whoosh! A Canoness wearing like super armor. Ganny New Jersey. That's what I'm going to take the NJ as. Thanks for that follow. Yeah, super armor. Sister Superior. Canoness rather. She had a 2-up armor save. Ignored AP 1 and 2. Could only be wounded on a 4+ at best, and had a 4-up invulnerable save. He's done an amazing conversion. It was the Judicia armor with the Canoness head and a different sword, I think, to showcase the super armor. Hey, it was New Jersey. Nailed it. That's awesome, dude. I'm not going to ask you how my New Jersey accent was because it's clearly, obviously terrible. But hey, from all the way from New Jersey. What else did he have in his list? Was that everything? Oh, no. God, I'm glad I didn't. Right. He had 4 of the murder bots. So the ones that are like penitent engines, but small. The mental ones. You sound better than any New Yorker I've ever met. Is that because I don't have a New York accent? But I'll take it, man. Thank you. That's what many years of watching Friends will do for you. Mortifiers. That's the thing. Yes. Those things are horrendous. So, because I have no real idea what most of the sister shit does, I always ask my opponents, like, right, defensively, what does it do? Offensively, how many attacks it got? And he said 15. I was like, 15 attacks? He's like, yeah, they've got this flail thing. Each attack is 3 attacks. Like, you make 3 rolls. And, oh, right, okay. Cool. I didn't think anything of it. And he ggets first turn, which is not what I wanted. I wanted to at least be able to try and pop one of those, what are they called? The organs. Exorcists. I wanted to be able to pop one of the exorcists at least with thermal cannons before he got a chance to shoot at me. But it wasn't to happen, and because I couldn't hide anything, I was in grave trouble. So he fired both exorcists. On one of them, he used the strat about having the reroll any of the D3 that make up the 3D3 shots for the organ gun thing. That's pretty powerful. That's relatively ludicrous. If I 3D3, strength 8, minus 3, D6 damage, occasionally flat 5 or 6 with the miracle dice shots that hit on 3s, reroll 1s for the Canoness, is pretty brutal. Very consistent number of shots as well on 3D3. You're almost always going to average 6 out. So he fires both of these at one of my knights and does 3 wounds with the heavy bolter. And that was it. I saved every single one of those missile shots. He put them all into my super defensive knight with the 4 invulnerable save, so I didn't even have to rotate. We just boss moded the saves. We're like ping, ping, ping off the shields. No! Absolutely no. Yeah, Repentia are crazy. They get strength times 2 swords, and with the Magifier they get +1 to that. So now strength 7, not strength 8, which was really key in this game. So he didn't kill anything in his turn 1, and I'm thinking, alright, this is good. He's moved everything up the board very aggressively towards me. He had some pre-game like scout moves. All I've done now is mixing some sickly skin with our previous highlight coats. You've got a very, very pale blue now. I'm going to keep these highlights super, 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 super small and basically just sort of dot the corners. Zen, how you doing, man? But he'd moved everything up. He'd left his Repentia in Rhinos, which was obviously going to happen. His Mortifiers were about mid-board. He had an Immolator with a load of the Stormbolter ladies in mid-board. But otherwise, he just sort of got onto a couple of objectives and was going to become a little bit of a nuisance for him. Alright, cool. And I know I have to go all out in this. Like, because he's ignoring a lot of my attacks, because of the AP just being completely null and void, I have to get in his face at all times. I need to be shooting him as well as being in combat, because I need the dice to go through. I need him to keep rolling dice before he saves. Yeah, it could have been. It's a pretty like popular sisters list. Certainly the Repentia are like one of the stars of the show in that codex. Here's the thing with Repentia, right? You know those games where you've had to be like, oh, I need to make a 12-inch charge to get this. They never fail it because of miracle dice. If you've got the miracle dice, right, cool, we've advanced. We declare a charge, we use our strat to advance and charge. And I need an 11, so there's a 6 and a 5. Ta-da! It's gross. They have strats to fight. So you fight on death on a 5-up, if you've got the particular prayer or whatever it's called going, because you can choose one of those every battle. So that's pretty horrible. And there's a strat for everyone that dies on a 4-up, you take a mortal wound. That's pretty terrible. So there's a lot that they do, which is like an ouch moment, just a pure ouch moment. So I knew I'd have to be in harm's way of the Repentia, and I'd just have to take it and hope for the best. So my Warlord, who's got a 2-up armor save, goes down the flank towards the Repentia. The guy with the invulnerable saves goes up the other flank across the top of the board, and we're aiming to get down towards those executioners. And if we have to, he'll tank the mortifiers. It is mortifiers. Yeah, I got it right that time. Don't know why I questioned myself then. Valorous Heart, it was the one that ignores AP2. Now, not all of his stuff was ignoring AP2 because he'd taken board control and pushed out quite far to get onto the objectives and start racking up the primary points. So we were starting to put Gatling cannons into the sister squads of things that wouldn't ignore AP2. We knew we could just clean through a few of those nice and quick. I got 3 of the mortifiers down, which was good. We blew up the immolator in the middle that contained the Dominion squad, and he lost 3 of his Dominions as they disembarked from the wreckage, which was pretty unfortunate. So I had a good first turn. Then we started rolling some charges. Now I failed a charge in my Warlord. I need an 8 to make it to the Rhino that had the Repentia in. And I wanted him down that far so they'd get clogged up attacking him. At least it would delay them hitting the rest of my army by a turn. That was the game plan. And I'm fine with trading a knight sometimes. Sometimes you've got to. It's the only thing you can do is like, tell you what, that's fine. You kill what's literally on paper a quarter of my army. And I'll be okay if you do. Anyway, I failed this charge, we re-rolled it, managed to get in, which opened up a pathway up the middle for my Endless Fury Crusader to get in on this last couple of Dominions that he had floating around. I got another charge off with my other Crusader, and we just killed a few things in combat. So we did a lot of damage turn 1. His turn 2, the Repentia got out, 1 unit of them got out. He didn't want to fall back his Rhino, so I didn't have any Overwatch, so that made perfect sense as well. His Exorcists fired again, of which there was only 1 left by this point. We murdered the other one pretty solidly. And so I was expecting to lose 2 knights this turn. 1 to maybe the Exorcist doing what it do, and 1 to the Repentia. Once again, his Exorcists had a horrendous turn where they did literally no damage with the missiles. I did fail a save and immediately CP'd that. We're not having a flat 6 damage missile coming in. That's a no. So another rough shooting phase from him, but now we're going to get juicy. We're getting into that combat phase. So these Repentia have flying into my Warlord. He's got a load of extra attacks from having a missionary, from having the extra strength from the banner being there, the magic stick. There's a lot going on. There's a Canoness down there. He's rerolling 1s. But unfortunately, the dice let him down. And he ends up doing only 10 damage total to my knight. I obviously strike back into Repentia and nearly kill them. Down to like... 1, well, it was 2, and he found his morale. 1 ran, and then the other one didn't take the unit. Whatever it's called, crumble checks, I guess. So that was really, really unfortunate for him. It meant that I still hadn't lost a knight. I had board control. I was sat on, at that point, 3 of the 5 objectives, so I was maxing the points I could score each turn for the primary, and I was holding more than him because he had lost his board control. He was penned back into both corners. I had 2 knights rushing into one corner had a knight already in the other corner. We were doing some work. And essentially, over the next couple of turns, I allowed the Repentia to get out of their Rhino. I tried to pop it with gunfire. It didn't happen. I allowed them to get out, but I already worked out that the best thing to kill Repentia with was Helverins, because they everything else ignores AP1, so they've got a 3-up save against Helverins. Whereas these guys, these chainsaw-wielding lunatic Sisters of Battle, at best would have a 4-up invulnerable save because of Celestine. And their Feel No Pain is going to negate some of the damage from like the small arms fire, so Helverins are going to be a good counter to those. So we basically lined the Helverins up and just fucking went ham on them and took the rest of those out. I ended up chasing his Magifiers around the table a little bit with a couple of Knights. And couldn't kill them in combat because they ignore AP2. Which is super annoying. But what can you do? And that was the story of the game. We finished the game 96 to I think it was low 30s. So we went on a 99 to 22-ish game and a 96 to low 30-ish game, which was pretty damn good. Hello Salcero, I'm doing great, man. We are ready for the Necronathon. I've got one more tray of crons to base, and I need to undercoat it all. But here is the first tray of crons. In here, we've got scarabs at the front, the murder buckets, characters, Scorpeth dudes, and then right there towards the back, the big murder giraffes. In the other tray, just here, we've got 60 Necron warriors. Ogre, peace out, man. Take it easy. For anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, this weekend, it's the Necronathon. I am painting 2,500 points of Necrons in 48 hours. Here's a little movie poster, fight poster that I put together for it. It's kicking off 10 o'clock Saturday morning. The mean against the machine. I will get these finished by 10 a.m. Monday morning. I have 48 hours to get these bad boys done. We've done it before with a Nurgle Demon Army. These guys are getting a little bit more detail than that, though. Here is what we're looking at for our Kron color scheme. We've got the Terminator Krons. So good. So we've got a load of red, we're doing a load of OSL, we've got some dark silver, but notice there are brushed highlights on all of this. AJC72, how you doing, dude? Thank you for that sub, man. Awesome. Very appreciated. We've got brushed highlights on every part of the mini. Glowing eyes painted by hand. OSL, kind of force blade effects going on. And as you see from some of this that is drying, we've got a ruined city scheme basing to do. We've got some tufts coming from Rival Crafts to go on there. We've got a load of powders. Going to be getting the airbrush out a lot. But this is what we're looking at for our Kron scheme. Loads of work to do on these guys. It is that Royal Warden's base to do. But other than that, there's 110 more minis. 18 Scarab bases, 6 Murder Buckets, a converted Cryptek, an Overlord, 2 Plasmancers, 3 Plasma Sights, 2 Scorpec Lords, 5 Immortals, 9 Scorpeth Destroyers, 3 Reanimators, and 60 Warriors. We have got prizes to give out all weekend. We've currently got 15 things to give away. 15 giveaways in 2 days. We've got 10 basing kits from the amazing Sarah at Rival Crafts, ! Tufts in the chat. We've got a ticket to Europe's first ITC Super Major, taking place in Utrecht in the Netherlands this November. 7 games over 3 action-packed days with one of the greatest tournament organising teams that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. We're sponsoring their event as well. We're giving away an Aeronautica Eclipse at that event. One person, best painted miniature, wins a absolutely phenomenal airbrush. We've got prizes from me. We have the original colour scheme I was going to paint my crons in. We've got a Royal Warden to give away. We've got the £50 hobby voucher we would normally be giving away. We have the mini painted by me to give away. We've got so much going on. So much going on. Can't miss this weekend, guys. So, follow me on Instagram, !social. There'll be updates on there. Every time we go live, we put out an Instagram post so everyone knows what's going on. So you can't miss it that way. We've got Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. All of the footage will go up to YouTube, by the way. So if you can't make the weekend, it's all there if you want to see the whole thing. But I've also hired the services of a absolute boss editor who is going to take potentially 40 odd hours of footage, a lot of photos from me, a lot of social media updates from me, and edit them into a 15 to 20 minute video so that if you guys want a recap of the weekend and the crazy bullshit that is going to take place, you can just watch that and instead not watch an entire weekend's worth of stuff. Advanced Lost Arms, you'll be here on Saturday. Epic. Saturday is going to be an airbrush-a-thon. There's going to be so much airbrushing. We need to get all the base coats done. We need to get all the OSL done. We need to get the bases done all through airbrush. We need to get all those blades done. Oh god, there's so much to do. But if I can get all the airbrushing done in one day, that's going to be a lot of airbrushing. But if I can get all of that done in one day, that means that I've got an entire day to do brushed highlights, OSL, bring in the shadows, all those sorts of things. If I can keep to that. Because that's a challenge. Then I've got this easy. If we don't get all the airbrushing work done day one, I'm in trouble. Like, big trouble. Like, no sleep for you kind of trouble. I'd still like to be able to get at least sort of 4 to 6 hours sleep on that Saturday night, so that we're fresh and ready to go on Sunday. And yeah, work in progress gallery sessions will be there while I'm eating, but they'll be rapid fire. We'll be getting through it. Still give some good critiques, still give some of that good feedback that I know you guys are after. But the focus for the weekend does have to be on getting that paint down. Because just doing the giveaways is going to take time out of stream, yeah? If each one of those giveaways takes like 2 to 3 minutes to set up, get all the votes in, you know, go through the list of people and make sure everyone that wanted to enter is entered, all that sort of stuff. Then another minute or so to do the draw and get the names down and everything else. That's 5 minutes of giveaway for 15 giveaways. That's over an hour. Like, whew. Target number 4. You still sub to this garbage? Hey, if you don't like the planes, that's on you, brother. That's all on you. How you doing, bro? Are we doing my which voodoo number guesses again? Oh my god, that was scary. That was so scary. So what Sarah's referring to, last time we gave away some of her basing bundles, I've done it random, and I grabbed 5 of them sort of shuffle them face down on the desk and make somebody pick a number, and Sarah somehow knew what they would get. She knew which bundle it was. This lady has clearly got the voodoo. It's worrying. Right, we got 4 more of these to do. It is 10 to 11. We got plenty of time. Plenty of time. I'd like to get the gold done, but we're probably not going to get all of that done this evening. And it's important we do the gold before we do the next step, because the next step is going to be to just give like a little sheen to these. So what we'll try and do is get the 2 bigger ones done, because they obviously look the best, being the largest. They're easier to see the details. She sensed the KY Mud. She did definitely sense the KY Mud. I hope we've got comedy names on all of these this time, Sarah, because KY Mudbum was the best name for a basing kit ever. And if they're not comedy names, I'm going to come up with some. And they'll be worse than what you could have come up with. So I hope you've done a solid for stream. It'd be awesome. Also, how's your affiliate contest going? And am I still winning? Because I really want to win. Anyone in the stream that doesn't know about this, Sarah is doing a contest for her affiliates, of which I have been one since the very start of the program. Though I did miss slot number 1, I am affiliate number 5. I will be the most famous of the 5. We could go with that at least. But, you know, you've been sensible. Great. But Sarah's doing a competition for her affiliates. Whoever gets the most sales for her gets like a bonus, and the bonus for first place is either a Spellcrow like cottage scenery piece, which looks awesome, like full on, absolutely epic shit, or a decent sized voucher to her store. Now, I said that if we do place, because most of the people that are using that affiliate link are you guys, whatever prizes we get back in the stream. Need to push it. Okay, Steve was tester 1 and you were number 2. Oh, I see. I see. I feel it needs to be clarified that, you know, clearly I am affiliate number 3, which is better than 5. 5 is right out. 3 is just right. So, exclamation point Tufts in the chat. If you guys have wanted to get some Rival Crafts stuff, now is the time. Because Sarah's going to unveil the winner on Monday, I believe. That's when the contest ends, at least. So if you want to get yourself some Rival Craft stuff, support the stream, and provide an awesome prize for the stream. Janelle Sen is here. See you sneaking in there. Now is the time. The Spellcrow stuff she's got there is awesome. The Tufts are, of course, the best bushes in the business. The top Tufts. What was the other accolade I gave you today on Instagram? Best bushes, the top Tufts, the greatest grass. There we go. It is, of course, Rival Sarah. Worldwide shipping is available, and if you spend £30 or more, there is a discount code for SAVE10 to get 10% off your order. Personally, I feel we should have a Mohawk Miniatures discount code, but maybe one day. Go buy some tufts. There you go. Just do it. You won't regret it. The Baroness of Bushes. It's a good one. It's a good one. Right. So we've got all of the glass. Let's grab one of these bigger planes because it's easier to see on the larger windows. We've got a really nice blue glass effect. Very comic book-esque. It's exactly what we're going for. Now what we need to do is paint all of these extremely thin and not tricky panel lines all around it in gold. Greatest grass comes from the Netherlands. I mean, you and I are talking about different grass. That's for sure. That's a no, A-Code. Cake Fisk, how you doing, dude? Let's get some gold paint. As always, gonna grab the best gold ever. Scale color Dwarven gold. This stuff is epic. Actually, we're not. I've got a different idea. I'm gonna use this instead. Because this copper, being darker, is gonna ping off the white and off the black a little bit better than that gold would. And it's gonna go electric against this blue as well. Just got yourself 2100 points into Steampunk Dwarfs. Nice, dude. Nice. Are you going to paint them in a weekend? Because that's what we do now. You only paint entire armies in a weekend and that's it. Nothing else. None of this little bit at a time. You want to see the windows close up? There you go. So it's going to look a little bit rough at that magnification. We're looking at an extremely small window pane. And so getting a blend that's super smooth is almost impossible. And you don't really notice it if you do. So what you're really looking for is contrast. So we've got an almost white blue next to an almost black blue on there. That's what's going to give us the maximum effect from these. Now let's get some of this copper going on. This stuff is very thin, and we obviously can't allow any of this to go on our blue, so we've got to be careful. Need to have very considered brush strokes. And a lot of these Aeronautica minis, a lot of the parts of it, it's very much a case of pay attention to what you're doing, which is one of the reasons why they've taken so long. Every detail on these minis is like painting eyes on a regular mini. It's all so small. Busy this weekend? Are you busy painting an entire Space Dwarf army? Because, you know. I challenged Frozin. I challenged Frozin and Laura, actually. Frozza and Loza. I challenged them to also paint an entire army in a weekend. And Frozin's down for it. He is. But this weekend, he's off to see his lady. But would otherwise quite definitely give it a go with his Drukari he's got going on. He's getting about 1 mini done an hour, which is not bad going. But I told him that I have to get 1 mini done every 21 minutes and 48 seconds. I think it's 49 if you round up. So 21 minutes and 49 seconds a mini is what we've got to spend on average on those crons. That shouldn't be too hard on something like the Necron Warriors, but I guarantee it's going to take more than 20 minutes to paint one of the score pack dudes. Like, that's going to be some steps taken there. Still working out the order of operations in my head to make sure we've got everything in the most efficient possible way. Target number 4, there is no green glow, it's red. there's going to be that we're actually only washing the joints on the armor. Like, so I've sort of separated them down in my head. If we grab a warrior to muscle and bone. Now, Necrons have neither of those two things. We know this, right? But, like, this bit, the bare part of his leg, his endoskeleton, his exoskeleton is silver. Those will get washed. The endoskeleton, the bit on top, isn't getting a wash. It's still being darkened using ink through the airbrush. So it's going to be a trial. There's a lot of ink going on these guys. Red ones paint faster. The way I'm doing this red, very fast. Very fast. But still getting that, like, look to it at the end. Need that pop. There's no point in doing it if it doesn't look decent. It's not going to be like award winning by any stretch of the imagination, because this is a quick army, you know. But it's going to look at least okay. The Sith Panda, thank you for that follow and welcome. We're going to be going over to our work in progress gallery in about 15 minutes, guys. So if you've got something you'd like to show off, something you've been working on, something you may have just finished perhaps, who knows? Something you want some feedback on, maybe get a little bit of comment and critique, then exclamation point Discord, head on over there, become part of our awesome little community, and we can have a chat about your minis, see what you've been up to. Andy, what do you think about the copper colour? Let's get a close up. Personally, I think that pops off the blue pretty damn well. You liking it? Awesome. There's a new challenge, a weekend award-winning army. I mean, we can get to that in time. Actually, challenge accepted. You didn't specify which award. I'll go to a tournament, throw every game as bad as possible, get a wooden spoon with the crons. Done. Tell Steve that I'm sure he will almost always be absolute #1 man in your life. However, I need my food porn. So he can wait. It's not the tank, you're still doing the treads. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. I hate assembly. It's been a bit of a chore assembling all these Necrons. But when I was doing those, I was very fortunate to have had a scheduled week at work where I had so many meetings that I didn't necessarily need to be giving 100% attention to, that we could get through it. You can lose a tournament with Ultramarines. Well, like last place. That takes some doing. Any of the Marine factions to come absolute dead last takes some actual skill to lose a tournament with. Let alone 2 in a row if you're listening, Mr. Herbert of Hellstorm Wargaming, who, with his Blood Angel Ultramarines, went 0-3 both days of the Hellstorm RTTs. Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. He took a list that was a soft list. Here's the thing, right? I know people say, oh, if you know what the best lists are, then you know what not to take. But how much do you not take? You know. How much do you gimp your list to make it not solid? Like Manny Chima at his last GT at the Glass House in Telford took a list that he thought, right, I'll go 4-2. with this list. No problem. I can't win my own event that way. And the only person he lost to was in game 1, and it was me with my knights versus Magnus, Morty, and a fucking possessed bomb. How's it not a food tab? That's a really good question. I don't know, I kind of like to keep general as possible, because I don't want people to just like ignore conversation. Hey, what about you guys? Would you rather have a Discord that was more kind of heavily monitored in terms of things going in certain chats? Sarantis, thank you for that follow. Or would you rather just all have like one big chat and then like a work in progress thing and a few bits like the affiliate links and stuff that you can easily find? Like, the Discord is for you guys, so you let me know. Eztac Plays, thank you for that sub, dude. That's awesome of you. Really appreciate it. Get some love in the stream for Eztac. But yeah, you guys let me know what you would like for Discord. If you want it to have, like, here's the food bit, here's the pets bit, here's the Tuesday bit, whatever, then we could do that. But for me, I think that just moves conversation away. And even if it's something you think you wouldn't be interested in, maybe you're just not interested in it yet. You know. There's so many cool people, so many different areas of the world that you all come from. I'd like to keep it as inclusive as possible. See what I mean about this being like painting eyeballs constantly? These little fucking lines of the devil. And we've just gone inside that one a little bit, so we have to clean that with a decent wash afterwards. But these are a joy to paint, I promise you. Still some weathering to do on these as well. I'm going to get some powders out and just dirty up a few bits here and there with some nice looking rusts. Still look good. Yeah, I'm in a couple of others communities Discords, and there's a lot of categories, a lot of different channels within it, and I'm never going to read it. But equally, our community isn't as large as theirs. Like I occasionally jump in and say hi to Liam or something. If I'm honest, we talk mostly over WhatsApp, but you know. But I sort of pop my head in there every now and again, say hello. But I'm never going to go into all of the different channels and do things. I just don't have time more than anything else. So. We could do, but I think all you'd end up with there, though, Toony Spruce, is like a lot of reposted stuff from the whip into the gallery tab. Because we see a lot of finished work on the whips. But, you know, we can do if you like. Right, there's one of the canopies, sort of, I won't say finished, because we've got washes and highlights, still want that. But that gives you a nice little framed set of windows there. That needs to look cool. So the next step, the last step on the windows, which we'll do now on camera before we start doing any of the washes, is to take some sickly skin and to thin it right down so we've got a nice, easy to manipulate paint. You want this to be so thin it comes off the brush really, really easily, so we get like a thin line. Abandoned Lost Arms, peace out, man. Be awesome if you could play these in 40k, like one shot drone bot. Yeah, right. Yeah. I know what you mean. So, as with all lenses and so on, you need to finish them off with the effect of light glinting at you. So you just got to get these little tiny ass highlights in, and this is why the paint needs to be the right consistency, because this needs to flow off the brush in an effortless fashion. And if the paint's too thick, it won't do that. And if the paint's too thin, you'll need to do it like 5 times before it sticks. And that's no good either. You also need to pick your battles with stuff like this. So some of these, this will work really well on. And then some of the smaller paints, it really won't. It'll look awful, it'll look crowded and unrealistic. And you can't have that. But that little glint just helps bring those to life a little bit more. Do you know they've had an oil wash on them? So the oil wash was done underneath the brushed highlights. So all of these little bits of detail here got picked up by the oils, in fact. If you meant on the canopies, no, absolutely not. Mostly because I want the control that an acrylic wash will give me for that. Oils, you can make really thick and then clean them off, but I don't want any of the oil to end up on the blue. That needs to be super clean. Sarah, enjoy your dinner. Oh, beef noodle soup. Banging right now. I had some chicken salad wraps for dinner, which was nice, but I mean, it's chicken salad, it's kind of... Just realised I've been doing this on the wrong side. That's a pain, but it still works. It's fine. There we go. Nice little tiny ass highlights. Aerial Ventry. It's Big John. How you doing, brother? All right, we're nearly at a point of going into the whip, so I won't have time to do another one of these this evening. I think we're just going to the whip. Okay, let's whip it out. Oops. Just done the tap of the wet palette in the wet palette. I haven't got yellow paint on my hands, I promise. It's an optical illusion. Right, let's go see what we've got in the whip gallery. Actually, before we do that, let's just check this out. This is Sarah's food porn. Beef sweet chili noodles and warm crusty bread. That does look tasty. I like baby corn. It's a nice looking little baguette. 4 pieces in the whip, because it wasn't necessary for showing everything. Yeah, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Looks tasty. Spin my whip. Will be in my whip rest of the week. I'll catch you all this weekend. Plays Ghost of Tsushima. I have no idea what this is. Hey! I am not. No. 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 Stats, yes. Stats definitely raised. Points definitely not. Don't need that. I had fucking Liam from Goonhammer on the table behind me while I was playing against the Sisters guy, constantly turning around going, Jay keeps saying Knights are shit, but he's determined to prove us wrong. Oh, is he winning? I'm like, fuck off. Don't do it. Makes it so awkward. So awkward playing a game which was like, oh, you're getting fucked, aren't you? I love Liam. Great guy. But god damn it, mate. Pick your time. Right, this is some crown blade work. Still going on these gold, purple, and silver marines. I'm liking this, dude. Let's have a quick look at that hairline you've got there. Let's get right in on this. So that's some decent work on the face. We've done a few streams recently. We've been painting face. We did Valrak's face and we did Ragnar's face. You need the sculpted guy I made your radio today. Oh, he was cool. Yeah, he was cool. I stuck around for a little bit after the stream. I normally, even people I like, I'm normally like 10 to 15 minutes and I'm like, right, I've got to cut this and go to bed. But it was interesting what he was doing. So, yeah, glad we got that rigged. Thank you. Sandra Rollo, it would do. Tell me what your other name was. I can move the meeps over. Whisper it to me on Twitch, though. Don't just put it in the chat here. Otherwise, I'm going to forget it. So we've done a few streams recently on painting faces, and you've definitely taken some lessons from that. You can see you've got some of that darker shade going on around the back of his head. Decent highlights. You've got the bits that hang around your mouth, sort of these fleshy bits before the cheeks and the cheek pads. Overall, pretty decent, mate. Remember, we talked about this in depth a lot. Your face is normally in 3 bands of colour. For a bloke, it's normally very blue towards the bottom, very red here, and very yellow from there. So especially around the nose, just underneath the eyes, get some red going on. For that stubble you've got here and here, get a little bit of a blue-grey going on. It'll make a massive difference to this. It's already good, that'll push it to the next level. Overall, mate, banging. Love what you're doing with these guys. Merkin, you've got some Admech coming on. These are cool. I like the dark and the red. The plasma is, for me, just a little desaturated, but it kind of works with the color scheme that you've got. You want weaponized flying skull now. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yes. Love the red. Really nice and vibrant. Your metallics are very dark. Great work. I'd maybe just get a blue glaze over that plasma to bring that up a little bit more. But that's my particular tastes. I like things to be super colourful. But it's great. Oh, you got some more? Okay, nice. Bases need finishing. Need a nice smooth black rim job around the edge of those. And on the Transuronic Arquebus that you've got there, here's what I really like. You've put a mini on the base, but you've embedded it into the base. Too many people just like attach an arm and glue an arm on top of whatever is there. Yeah, it's no good. What you've done there is the right thing to do. Bury that motherfucker. Get a load of the basing particulate over it, around it, against it. Make it look like it belongs. Good work. Then we've got some... I want to say these are the infiltrators, but they might be the rust stalkers. I can never remember which one's which. Again, pretty solid paint scheme, mate. I love those knives. Those knives are awesome. Really nice and bright against everything else, which is super dark. They stand out a mile. It's a really tasty looking Admech armor you've got going on. Good work, mate. Very good work. Right, Hersalcero. You've got some Ork. This one looks like a smasher gun. It's purple, it's orange, it's got yellow. Telling you now, mate, those yellow wires, they look cool now, but they'd look really cool if you painted some black hazard stripes on them. You know, that would be really cool. The kind of detail that people can't not look at on a miniature. Nice work here though, mate. I like it. Yeah, nice work on the rust. Got all the little details picked out. The little spinny ball thing on top could maybe do a little bit more to. I'm not entirely certain what's happening with that blue sort of splodge in the middle at the front of it. You've got the red teeth like either side of it, and you've got this blue. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It almost looks like it's just smudged paint. Looks a bit off. But yeah, I like the colours that you've gone for. Got a screen. Let's have a look at that. Not a bad job, mate. Not a bad job. Let's get right into that screen. Here we go. So you've obviously tried to blend this in, which on a screen that small is tough. You've done a decent enough job, you know. The lightest blue that you've put on there, I think, comes in a little bit too hard, too fast. So take some of your mid-tone blue, and then start your brush strokes over the lightest bit and draw that brush stroke down towards the other corner, the darkest area. And that will just start to take away some of that. If you look at the difference between what you've done there with that and what I've done on these tiny Ork planes, that bit there that you've painted is essentially the same as me painting these tiny fucking lines, like these little doodads here, right? Those were the last ones we did. That's the last kind of thing that you've got on that picture. And what you need to do is just thin that one down a little bit so that's got less of an obtrusive look to it than the rest of it. That will just knock it back and tidy it up a little. But good job. I like what you've done. First almost complete new Ork colour scheme here. I need to work on details, blades and so on. And forward using washes. It also has some weathering and wall scratches and a small tuft in the wheels. The direct tips are very welcome. Cool work. I think I've given you plenty to work from. You said that should be battle damage for the blue splodge at the front. I'm not getting it. I understand what you were going for, and I can see some of the sort of stippling rust look that you've got going on. But I think you'd be better off just highlighting the blue up like in the normal way, and then using some of the techniques that we use on stream quite a lot to give you that battle damage. So get some strikes in there, get that blue highlight underneath so you've got the darker and the lighter bit to make it look 3D, and go from there. Overall though, mate, it looks good, and it's a lovely colour scheme as well. Blue and orange, banging. Right, Merkin got some more AdMech. Got some 1950s space robots from outer space. More of the infiltrator Ruststalker people. Yeah, they're looking good, man. I like how sort of drab the robots look. Very utilitarian. And then you've got this base that just lights up underneath them. I also like what you've done on their faces. Let's just boost into this one a little as well. Look at that, we've got the Matrix code on that guy's face. That's super, super sick. And on this guy, there you go, a bit more of the same. Banging. So I've got some of these to paint for a YouTuber over a couple of months next year. And we're going to do Tamagotchi faces on them. So you'll have this super killy robot with like cartoon anime happy eyes and shit like that. So that is cool though. Love the Matrix look. First time I've seen that done as well. It's cool. Right, Bernie. Ooh, it's the Slaneshi mirror that definitely does not look like in any way, shape or form a vagina. Nice, mate. A little bit difficult to see from the photo because your camera's sort of blurred out by the screen, so some of it's just got some funky light going on. But overall, I like it. Everything looks to be in its place. Everything is nice and tidy. Obviously, still a whip. The base needs some cool stuff done to it, but it's good. And oh, here we go. Also got East finished for the tournament on Sunday. Wait, hang on a minute. Do I know you in real life? Because there's someone coming to my tournament, which is in a couple of Sundays' time, that wanted to bring a Slanesh army. And so there's every chance that it's you. Yeah, we have met. Cool. Cool. Looking good, dude. I love the chariots. They look horrendous. Like, the spinny death bullshit on the back of those is awesome. You got Celeste. Obviously, Keeper Secrets looking beast mode as always. I like these, mate. Very cool. Is this Incom? I think this is Incom. And if they take the table down to a smaller size than the new 6x4, the 44x60, that looks a bit square. But awesome, mate. That Ghost Keel, he's in trouble. He's in so much trouble. Oh, nice. Nice, mate. Ah, good stuff, man. I like your army. Very tasty. How did the event go? How did you do? Cakefish painting the. This is a Glockin, I think. There's so much detail on this bad boy, but he's an amazing, amazing mini. You're a bit unsure about the purple. Came second on one painting. Yes, my man. That's awesome. Good for you. Well deserved as well. And second place, that's epic. You beat me. I came third at the event I went to on Sunday. So well done, man. Well done. Right. So you're unsure about the purple. Let's have a look at. It's kind of hard to see the purple. Like, you've got it around its midsection, and I don't dislike it, if I'm honest. Kind of heading in towards that more magenta than a real purple right now. Fish! How you doing, brother? I mean, you're fucking 3 hours late. So, dude, sucks though. With the weather, like, I'm surprised I've still got power. We've had not like a blackout, but like a little bit of brownout going on earlier on. So, it is what it is, man. You take it easy, enjoy your night, go chill out, get some rest. We've got a lot of streaming this weekend, man, and I know you're going to be here. So, right. So the only thing I'm having issues with this is that everything sort of bleeds together a bit. And it's difficult picking out all the details. I think that's just because we need to have some washes on it a little bit more. Bring out some of that detail. So the big tusks, the big bone growths that he's got going on, bleed into the ochre a little bit too much. It's a very difficult mini to photograph. I love what you've done with that arm, that kind of tentacle arm he's got going on. Every part of that is nicely sort of set out. You can see it all. It looks great. Keep going with what you've got, mate, and then try and get some photos in natural daylight if you can, and then put them in a whip like later. See what we can get. Just finished The Gentleman. I haven't seen the Gentleman. The last Cockney film I watched was absolute genius. It was Cockneys versus Zombies, and it was fucking hilarious. Utter trash. Absolute bollocks, but genius. Loved it. Had the guy that played Bricktop in it. He's awesome. Right, Sons of Rolo had another go at the skull. Getting better, but still room for improvement. Having a nice smoke effect. The first time I've done it, now at the start of the bases. Okay. That's not bad, dude. Yeah. I think what you got there is good. It's hard to do a skull anyway. As I found out recently painting my Chibi Marine, the little dude here. We've got the Retributor Marine we were painting. And painting the skull was not easy. And you're painting a skull on that. Oh, the Gentleman. I haven't seen that one either, actually. So, good job, mate. Really well done. Interested to see what you do with the bases. You got any ideas? That smoke looks pretty good. Honestly, mate. Ooh. But you do need to tidy up that highlight on his shoulder pad a bit. You've gone a little bit off-piste there. Take some of the base colour that you've done his armour with, and then just paint on the inside of that highlight line and blend that out into the rest of the shoulder pad. Other than that, looking great, man. Looking really good. There you go, got his mates as well. Nice, dude. Yeah, really nice. Right, Toonie Sprues. So I've been trying to figure out a new scheme for my Krongs. After messing around for a while, I've come with this. Only done the base colour so far. The purple will be slightly brighter. A rib cage will be like the mouth. What do you think? I think that was very difficult to see. Purple will be slightly brighter, and then glowy green rib cage. Yeah, it could work, dude. It could work. With the green, to make that work, like to make it really work, you're going to have to put in some real effort with that. All right. You need to obviously establish a dark up to light glow. So bear in mind that is a fair bit of work. Purple and green, always a solid colour scheme though. They're great contrasting colours to each other. They really do pop out. Yeah, go for it, man. How are you going to highlight the purple? Are you going more towards pink? Or have you got something else you want to do with it? Nice little splash of red there at the back. Get the spine in. Okay. And this was your original scheme. Okay, cool. I think the purple will work. But especially for that green OSL, that's going to either make it or break it. So practice that. Like a lot. Because that's going to have to be the thing that works. So, looking more Decepticon purple. That'd be cool. Yeah. Alright, Crazy Ant. It's okay, dude. We've got another army from you. Got a Hive Tyrant. With two swords. One of them being a Swarmlord sword, and the other one being the regular big old sword. Some sliding talons. And is a walking Hive Tyrant, but with the correct leg pose, but he doesn't look super static. I like it, man. I like it. You've done a lot of work on the base. I love the little bits of colour splash you've got going on there. Is that a Zoanthrope head crust? Head crest, rather? Yeah, the little bits of yellow in the vents, I like. The darker flesh tones you've got on there, also, I like. Base looks banging. Yeah, ordinarily I'd say add something to the carapace, but I think everything else is enough detail that you don't need to do that. I like the finish as well, very satin, not completely gloss. Yeah, good work, mate. Really nasty looking, sinister bug. Excellent stuff. The Johnsonator, here he is, he's finished him. Dude, I saw this on your Instagram and I was like, I love it. I absolutely love it. The green and the blue for the feathers, the bright, bright pink for that dude. It's awesome. The base is brilliant. Those tufts look amazing. I wonder where they're from. The metallics on the staff. This is the one part of the mini I'm just not quite sure about. And let me explain why. It's going to sound really, really shitty. You've got what looks like actual metal on there. Like, it genuinely does. It almost looks like that's a different part of the miniature that's been put down and replaced with an actual metallic element, which is pretty banging. But that looks very realistic, and no other part of the mini does. Every other part of the mini is super cartoon, super bright, super vibrant. And for me, that staff top looks out of place with the rest of it. It still looks great. Honestly, mate, it looks great. But it's almost like they belong to two different minis. I don't know how to fix that and retain the like super crisp metallic look that it's got. Fish, I get it. I understand. But for me, it's even ever so slightly different from the gold on like his headdress and stuff like that. And that's probably just the light. But there's undeniably a lot of hard work and effort gone into this. And he's fucking great, man. Like, Lee, you've done an excellent, excellent job on this. If I cover the staff though, he just looks better. Because even the skull that's there, that's cartoony. It's literally just that ever so slightly flat bit of metal. The spikes are still good. And I don't know how to change that. I think just adding in some contrast there might be enough. But you've done a beautiful, beautiful job on this guy, mate. It's great to see you paint something other than World Eaters. And I love those. You know how much I love those. But this is a completely different way of painting. It's super clean. Beautiful work. Look at that. Even nailed the eyeballs down. Yeah, that could be it, man. Maybe you could work in some contrast just on some of the S parts in the snake tail for it, if you wanted to. But I love it. Super, super good, man. Super good. Right, Eztak. We've got a Sister of Battle with a multi-melter, who is still missing a backpack at the moment. But I really like the colour scheme. Nice bright purple, very vibrant. Your black, you've got some really decent highlights on, so well done with that. Yeah, good work. Let's see the butt shot. Much more of that purple going on. Yeah, very good work, man. Very good work. It's First sister in the army. Nice. Only another, like, 60 or so to go, I guess, then. Doing well, man. Doing very well. I'm assuming this is like a test mini. Nailing it. Right, Des. Oh, this is the last one. So I had to go back and finish / clean up my intercessors, make sure the base is the same, etc. I got more than I remembered. I have 3 more combat squads in the paint queue. Nice. Okay. Damn, man. So 10, 20, 30, 45. So you got like 60 in total then, I guess, right? Mate, nice work. Also, I love what you've got there with the base clip things. Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming has got a discount code for... sorry, an affiliate code for these. Nice, mate. Is that Grey Knight heads? No. The white helmets look really cool. Yeah, I like that. They look sweet. I love the red sergeant heads. That's my favourite thing about Ultramarines is the red sergeant heads. But that's nice, man. Get some decals on there. Perk up those shoulder pads a bit, yeah? Can I start this one, but I'm hooked already. Brilliant. Brilliant. Andrew, peace out, dude. Need to unify all the bases. Yeah. Yeah. You could definitely get away with like putting some more texture on them as well. Like get some particulate or something down on there. But it's a nice looking army, mate, especially all together like this. Good stuff. Let's get the other shot you put in. Oh wait, no, that was it. Crazy Anks, just a bit more. Nice, mate, getting those Primaris bikes going on. Couple of sets. They're really good. They are really good, especially as Imperial Fists as well. So, Sarcero, I really don't like it. The only reason that snow would ever settle on a car, like, so think about it. Say you're driving in the snow, right? The snow melts off your car because you're driving, the engine's warm, and the wind's sort of whipping warm air past and blowing the snow off and all that sort of shit. Anytime snow builds up on it is when you start doing nothing. Why are you started doing nothing in the middle of a battle? It's just my own personal. It's just not my bag. Nice work on those bikes there, mate. And we've got even more intercessors. Ugh, these aren't intercessors. These are fucking eliminators. Sorry, eradicators. Yuck. Eradicators, aggressors, honor guard. Yeah. You're right, I've never driven in Canadian winter. We get much, much less severe winters here. So, that's the end of the stream. Today, we got a load of work done on these planes. We got all the windows done. Just started blocking in all of the copper colour around the outsides of that. That obviously needs to wash and a quick highlight on it. But that's not bad. We're hopefully going to get all of that section done on the rest of these planes between now and the next stream. The next stream, we're going to paint some red circles freehand on the wings, both sides, as the sort of markings for the attack squadron. So got that to do, and that'll be Thursday stream. So join us on Thursday night at 9 to see more of that. Then this weekend, it is the Necronathon. I will paint 110 Necron miniatures in the space of 48 hours, or die trying, basically. That's the goal. We're going to smash out an entire army in that time. We've got 15 prizes minimum to give away over that time frame. Everything ranging from tournament tickets to the biggest and first ITC Super Major in Europe. We've got a load of Rival Crafts goodies to give away. We've got hobby vouchers to give away and more. Even minis painted by me. Show starts Saturday morning, 10 a.m. BST. We're going to stream till anywhere between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Get a little sleep. Then Sunday, start 10 a.m. again and work till we finish. Or till 10 a.m. Monday morning turns up. One of the two. Either way, I'm going to be completely fucked by the end of the weekend. So if you'd like to see what happens when a grown-ass man literally breaks, tune in over that weekend. But for now, let's go find someone to raid. We will roll the credits. Hobby Hutch, thank you for that follow. I hope it wasn't just because I said you'd see a grown man break, but might have been. Let's see. Who should we raid? Who shall we raid? We've raided most of those guys recently. Let's just go check out what's in the minifigures category. Let's see. What looks cool? Ooh, we got some sculpting going on. That looks sick. I'm not sure what's going on here, but that looks cool. We got some Plague Marines, maybe? No, you've got some awesome basing going on. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? So we're going over to the More Than Dice podcast. So when we get there, say hello. Give them the proper Mohawk Miniatures welcome. Spam those emotes. Hopefully we'll see you guys back here Thursday at 9. Let's roll the credits. And when the credits are finished, we're heading over to see Kathy do some painting. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you soon.